Sairam, 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 everybody. As part of our process of Chintan Manthan, today, the 14th of October 2023, is the Mahalaya Amavasya, the conclusion of Pitru Paksha. It lasts for anywhere between 15 to 23 days, depending on the uh, planets, planetary positions, and calendars. So, what is Pitru Paksha? We have covered it in the past, but each subject we have several different excerpts we can draw from, right? Now, today's day is Mahalaya Amavasya. So, first, let us talk about what is Amavasya, right? Many people say that Amavasya is inauspicious. Day of Amavasya is dark. It is inauspicious. We don't do anything um, good or anything auspicious on this day of Mahalaya Amavasya or any Amavasya for that. Many people even shut their shops, the traders and businessmen. The day of darkness, no moon day, right? But in reality, Mahalaya Amavasya or any Amavasya for that matter, any Amavasya, let us talk about Amavasya first, is not inauspicious. Amavasya is a day, you look at it this way, look at it rationally, very logically. The next day of the Amavasya, the auspicious day begins. The new moon or the towards Purnima, the moon starts rising. Amavasya is the last day where all the inauspicious things get over. All the troubles in our lives, symbolic, metaphor, don't take it in literal sense. We are above and beyond these planetary positions and Purnami, Amavasya, all those things. But nevertheless, the day all your troubles, all your worries are coming to an end on the day of Amavasya, which is actually very good. It is very auspicious. Amavasya day is actually very auspicious. As per the planetary positions, also, in the right understanding of the astrology, also, is the Amavasya day is very auspicious. On this day, all our worries, miseries, ill effects of the planetary positions gets over. And the first day after Amavasya is a new beginning. It is getting over and a new beginning. So Amavasya is not inauspicious. Get that out of your mind. Amavasya is a day which comes every month, once a month, is a time where you sit and contemplate why all the traders, all the establishments, all the administrative establishments in the past, not today, in the past, used to be closed on the day of the Amavasya. It is a day of contemplation, day to reflect on how I was in the beginning of Purnima or, on the beginning of full moon day, from the end of previous Amavasya to today. It is a calculation which is being derived for people to reflect. When do we reflect? on a particular day. It is specified on this particular day. There is no moon. It is darkness. Everything is over. This 1 month has passed. What have you done? How have you lived? How much have I progressed in every aspect of life? That is a day of contemplation. This is a land of contemplation. It is not a land of superstition. Contemplative patterns or advisories have turned into superstition today, which is very unfortunate. So, Mahalaya Amavasya, we will come to now. What is Amavasya? Amavasya is not inauspicious. Please don't think that way. No day is inauspicious. It is a day of reflecting our days, how we have spent our days, how we have lived this month, how much have we progressed. The life is all about progressing from what we are to what we aspire to be, what we are now to how evolved are we. The whole system in nature is all about from a seed to a sapling, sapling to a plant to a tree, tree to a fruit yielding tree, to some more seeds from the same tree, and some more trees grows. And that process of evolution is unquestionable. That is nature. Everything grows. It doesn't grow old. It grows wise. It's a maturity. So the day of contemplation is Amavasya. Get it out of your mind, the superstition that it is inauspicious. Why we don't do anything auspicious on this particular day? Because this is a day which is restricted for contemplation and self-reflection. It is not a day for something new to start or a celebration. You have to contemplate. That same thing has turned into a superstition where people think that it is inauspicious to do anything. That is not so. Not at all so. Right? Now, coming to this Mahalaya Amavasya. What is Mahalaya Amavasya? This comes once a year as per the Hindu Panchanga. Every religion has a day of the dead or day for the gone. Why? In Islam, it is called Shab-e Barat. They have once a year. They visit the graves. In Sanatana Dharma, some people go and visit the graves on Shivaratri day. Some people, most of the people perform the rituals on the day which is Mahalaya Amavasya. And all these rituals, even in Christianity, there is a day dedicated for someone who is departed. What is the reason? Are we going to, contemplate on the ones who have gone? Is there any necessity? We have to understand, decipher, and understand. The ones who have gone have gone. They have come back. What is it that we are doing? We are reflecting and trying to understand the way our forefathers lived. We are respecting the conscience or the soul of our forefathers. We are trying to emulate them if they have done, if they are somebody great, or if there is somebody who's lived a very successful and a very meaningful life. That is the day we remember them. We remember them, reflect, if need be, if we find an inspiration, we evolve. We try to emulate and evolve. We try to emulate the ones who have departed and evolve. On the day of Mahalaya Amavasya, there are tarpanas. Tarpanas are the one ahutis, tarpanas, havan, so many rituals that we do for the departed. Is it necessary? Well, let us not talk whether it is necessary or not. But is it a good ritual? Yes, it is a good ritual. What is the logic behind this? Tarpans, the havans, the puja part, and everything that we do on the Mahalaya Amavasya. The whole philosophy of whether you call it Mahalaya Amavasya or anything to do with, the whole philosophy lingers on two things: karma, karma phala. Karma, karma phala are the underlying rules of the universe. We all are here only because of these two things: karma, karma. What are all the prayers that we offer during the Mahalaya Amavasya? We do things without knowing what we are doing. There is nobody who will sit and explain. There is nobody who will sit and make us understand. What are the prayers? What are the rituals? Why those rituals? What is the meaning and significance of those rituals? Nobody dives deep into that. The rituals of Mahalaya Amavasya is only navigated towards reducing the ill effects of the Sanchita karma of the ones who have taken birth. Our forefathers, our elders of the family, they have taken birth or they are lingering. Whatever has happened between the births, they have to get relieved. They have to progress. They have to move on. This is the day where we pray for their progression. This is the day where we offer the ahutis and tarpans and say that progress, move on. It is all about progression. It is all about circling back to the origin where we came from. It is all about evolution, and our rituals and prayers and prarthanas on Mahalaya Amavasya for the departed is only for their progression. That is the only reason why we do. You see the mantras which are recited, ucharanas, the pujas that they do, what are the sankalpas that they take, is only peace and progression for the departed. Nothing other than that. How do they progress in their next life? Only when their Sanchita Karma Gada or the container of Sanchita Karma is receded. Only then can they progress. If they are stuck because of their Sanchita Karma or the destiny based on the Sanchita Karma, they are in an adverse reality. To ensure their adverse reality turns into a pleasant reality in order to progress spiritually, as in spiritual evolution, to circle back towards mukti from the cycle of birth and death. That is the only reason why we do the tarpans. That is the only reason why we do the pujas and havans on the Mahalaya Amavasya. It is not inauspicious. Likewise, if you see, we one thing we let us be very sure, we are generally born in the same circumstances and same patterns and same relationships around us. When we are born, whatever we were in the past, if our forefathers, I mean, if we were our own forefathers, the tarpanas that we do, or somebody else is doing, it makes our life also eased out. It makes sure that our adverse realities also gets eased out, becomes pleasant. Pain, agony, and miseries will be wean away. That is the reason Mahalaya Amavasya day is a day of contemplation for us also. We have restricted thoughts. We feel that we are performing the Mahalaya Amavasya Puja and performing the Tarpan and everything for the ones who have departed, but who are we? Are we not the same ones who have departed earlier and come now? Is it not possible that somebody who has performed, who is performing the Mahalaya Amavasya Puja is doing for us also? So that is the reason we need to understand the Mahalaya Amavasya day is very significant for us also. It is not inauspicious. It is very significant for us also. It is a day where the next day of it is a new beginning. It is always a very new beginning after the Amavasya and after the Mahalaya Amavasya. After the end of Amavasya and the first day after Amavasya is for us, Vartamana, as we are right now. Kriyamana, Vartamana is contemporary right now. So when an Amavasya gets over, we on that day of Amavasya contemplate and move or progress for our own good and betterment and evolution of this birth. But on a day of Mahalaya Amavasya, we do it for everyone who have been our forefathers, our seniors, our elders, our people who have passed, basically. For them is what we are performing. That is the difference between regular Amavasya and Mahalaya Amavasya. Once a year, we pray. But now, just to summarize, difference between Amavasya and Mahalaya Amavasya. Just to summarize, people whom we are praying for the betterment, who have been here in the past, now those people have taken birth again. Most of them, let us say. Few of them are still lingering, maybe. But we also have had a past birth and past life. We have also taken birth. Somewhere someone is, if they are performing the tarpan for us, for what we were and in the past, is good for us. It is a day where there is someone whom we may or may not know is performing a puja or the havan or the tarpan for our progression also. Just a shift in thoughts. This is the actual reason of Mahalaya Amavasya and the meaning of Amavasya. It is not inauspicious. It is very auspicious. Amavasyas are very, very auspicious. It is a day of contemplation, day to contemplate and progress between this purnima to the next Amavasya. That is our cycle, right? So significance of Mahalaya Amavasya, and nowadays yes, a lot of Purana gets into the picture of Amavasya or any rituals, and they start all these commercializations, and you do this puja, you give this dana, this alms, and that to this brahmana. Your forefathers will be, they'll be at peace. Those are all, I would say, cock and bull stories for some people with vicious or selfish interest who would commercialize these rituals and try to scare and induce fear, and all these nonsense does happen. And on the day of Mahalaya Amavasya, tantrics get very alert. Tantrics, every Amavasya and also on Mahalaya Amavasya. Tantrics perform pujas and havans and certain rituals, which are not bad. They have their own rituals of relieving the departed, particularly those who are stuck between two realms. When the conscious rests between 9 days to 99 years between births, if that conscience is lingering and struggling, once we depart the body, we are lingering. We are in a state of stillness during that time of suspended state. During the days where we are literally suspended, you are out of the realm of time and space. But during such time, if we are going through a lot of traumatizing experiences due to our deeds, which are again burning and reducing our sanchita karma, during those times, these tantrics do help. But very few tantrics do that, ritual. But most of them are kutantris. Their attempt is always to draw the souls or conscience, capture them, and use them against somebody. You captivate and use and abuse. So that is abuse, doesn't like unleash them against somebody else. Particularly, aghoras do this. Kutantra. Kutantra is bad. That is the whole thing, the process of rituals of Mahalaya Amavasya. So Shudras, Aghoras, Kutantris do it in a very negative way. Most of the others do it in a positive. All of us, right? All the pujas and havans are for the betterment of that. Now, who are the ones? Which are all the souls? I mean, before anybody poses this question, I know. How do we escape? If somebody who is our person or somebody known to us has departed, we don't know if they have taken a birth or not. What if they are lingering and what if they are captivated? Not everybody is susceptible to get captivated in the hands of kutantris. Not everybody. People's life, how they have lived their life is very important. People who have committed atrocious things, atrocities, they are very low. They have done deeds, committed deeds which is unpardonable. Such people are such conscience is more susceptible to get captivated in the hands of kutantris. So how we live our lives defines how we are going to live our lives in the future, whether in the body or between the two births. The truth is how we have lived our life. And the most important things, people who are under the grace of a guru, they can never be captivated. Guru is so firm. Guru's krupa, Guru's grace is everything. If we are absorbed or if we are drawn, if we are drawn into the custody of a guru, he stands like Veerabhadra. He will never let anybody or any force of nature or anything to disturb the conscience which is surrendered to him. He will ensure he will navigate from birth to the next birth, from the shedding the body to the next birth, and in between he interferes. So in order to specifically explain about the kutantris, what they do, the ones who have led good life, righteous life, their conscience or their soul, they can never be drawn by the kutantris. Most importantly, the ones who are in the custody of a guru, They are untouched. The ones who have led immoral and bad life, driven by Arishad Vargas, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, during the time between 9 days to 99 years when the conscience or the soul lingers, such kind of people are captivated by the Kutantris and unleashed. Now, another question arises. Can you, everybody hear my voice?
Yeah, okay now.
Yeah.
So, the other question which arises is the is there a way out? Is there some way we can help those? That is where the day of Mahalaya Amavasya, where we perform our rituals and relieve the conscience. Now the question arises, sorry, it slipped my mind. The question arises is, people who do these kutantras, perform these rituals, how is it that, are they not going to get affected by their wrong deeds? Yes, they will. They are the ones, when they shed the body, they are the ones who are the least, I mean, lowest in the list, in the order of spiritual evolution, and they are the ones who are highly susceptible by the, in the process of captivating the conscience of the soul. So there is some other kutantri who will draw them. So that cycle continues, regression, 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 consistent regression. Finally, they flip back to the animal state and then start again all over. So this is how the nature or the universe or divine system works, right? So these are few new opinions of the same subject called the Mahalaya Amavasya. We covered it in the last year on this very day. This is another perception. I don't think it was anything which was repetitive here. So that is another perception of Mahalaya Amavasya. That's another truth of Mahalaya Amavasya. So if anybody has any questions or clarifications, I'm happy to take. Yes, please.
Saibaba, and this is Mary here. Can a soul only be captivated while it's in between births, or can a soul be captivated while it is still in the body in a lifetime? And I suppose I'm asking in terms of, if you know somebody and you see how much good they have done, and then something happens and they change. I'm just wondering, is that purely down to ego and all those qualities, or can it sometimes be that their soul has been captured in the body?
Understood the question.
Thank you.
Now, when we are in the body, we're not even aware that we are the soul. First of all, most of the people do not identify themselves as the conscience or the soul. We as a overall, as a collective entity, the conscience, the body, the mind, together, can easily be captivated, can easily be captured by kutantris. That art is called the Vashikarana. That is what the most of the kutantris in the guise of masters are performing in the world. So it is not a captivation of the soul or the conscience alone. The whole united entity, the body, the mind, in other words, the conscience, all the three are captivated by the practice of kutantras. That art or that, siddhi is called Vashikarana. Vashikarana in English, I mean, possessing somebody, there's a right word, spell, right? That is how it works. And yes, it does. Many people are victims of Vashikarana. Many in our Saipanth also were victims of Vashikarana. They won't know how they are talking. They don't know what they're doing. Their conduct, their behavior, their style, the day somebody starts abusing their own guru, understand they are under spell. So that is the time Guru gets even more compassionate towards them. So Vashikaran happens. Yes. Once the body is, I mean, once an entity sheds the body between the births, captivating that conscience or the soul and unleashing that entity against anybody else living is also possibility. But during the lifetime, yes, Vashikaran happens. Right.
Thank you, Baya. But I presume it isn't that always happens. Sometimes a person just loses their way. They haven't actually been captured. Yeah. Okay.
Captivated, yes.
Yeah.
But
Thank you,
again,
Baya.
coming back to the same thing, Guru. Glory to Guru. There is nothing beyond Guru. I'm telling you. There is no God who is greater than Guru. For us, it is God and Guru is not true. For us, Guru is God. Guru is everything. When we are under the custody of a Guru, there's nothing to worry. No force on earth can even touch us. That be rest assured. But if somebody is already been captivated by the Vashikarana effect or, whatever stupid things people do, if somebody has already been captivated, they are drawn by the Guru out of compassion, out of Rananabandhas from the previous births, and they are relieved of it. They are removed from the clutches of Vashikaran. It takes time. It takes a lot of patience for the Guru, not for the one who is under spell. So yes, thank you, Guru. He has drawn us. Saipanthis, like many people who follow the true masters, we are also very fortunate that we have been drawn and we are in the safe custody of a very able Guru, our Master Shri Saipanth. Right? Glory to Guru. Right. Haji Diljit ji.
Bhaiya, my question is, you just said that, a soul has a time period of from 9 days to 99 years before, either it chooses another birth or I don't know what else is possible right now. But then how does one decide whether it is just going to be 9 days before the soul decides to take a birth, or a long span of years has to be passed before the soul decides to take a birth? How is this kind of sorted out?
We'll take this up. It's a beautiful question and a topic. We can call it as soul travel, right? Of course, it is very relevant to today's topic of Mahalaya Amavasya because we are only talking about that soul travel. But just Sankshipta mein, as a summary, if I may say, why, first of all, the soul rests between 9 days to 99 years? That is first question. That was the question you asked. Why does it rest and who decides how long it
Yes,
should rest? Correct?
right,
Two
right.
questions.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Why it rests and who decides, how long it should rest. Correct? The universe, the divine, the universe system in the universe is impeccable. It's perfect. It is unquestioned. Everything is theory of creation, theory of evolution. Everything is one side. I would say theory of occurrence is so perfect that nothing is left to chance. First, when we understand why the soul should rest for between 9 days to 99 years, first let us understand why. That gives us an answer who decides. Why the soul rests for 9 days to 99 years. It all depends on one thing called the Ranas and Rinana Bandhas. Let us, for example, I'll take a simple example. A person, a lady, sheds the body. The Rinas and Rinana Bandhas are such that she has to be with the same spouse. She has to be married to the same spouse. That is what is the law of karma and Rinana Bandha. Now the spouse is alive. The spouse has to also shed the body, take birth. I'm just giving the contemporary world where women are always younger than the men. Just as an example, don't take it in literal sense, please. Just as an example, let's say a lady is passed. She has to marry the same person in the next birth, but that person hasn't passed yet. She is lingering because the other person has to shed the body. Once that person sheds the body, that person, her husband, let's say, takes birth. Let's say there has to be a gap of 2 to 3 years between them because that's what it is right now. Then he has to take birth, and after 3 years, she takes birth to maintain the same age gap, to be with the same spouse. Just an example, don't take it in literal sense. So if that has to happen, whoever it is, however it is, today's world I'm talking about soul rest between 9 days to 99 years. Let's say a lady has passed at the age of 60 and the husband is 63. He cannot live for more than 99 years. From 63, another 99 years. No, it doesn't happen. He will shed the body maximum at 100. So I'm just giving you a calculation. At 63, if that person is going to, be born again, what happens? 37 years, the conscience rests. Then that person is born. He is 3 years old. Then she takes birth. That is how the divine calculation works. That is how divine mathematics works. So that is a total of 37 years plus 3 years, 40 years of gap. So this conscience rests for 40 years. This is just one of the examples. The same thing in Puranas, they call it as Chitragupta sitting and writing the whole destinies and the history and the karma phala of everybody. That is Puranic narration. How the next person, the person or the soul has to take birth again. Chitragupta sits and writes. There is nobody but Chitragupta sitting in heaven or hell. No. This is how the divine system works. Who decides? First question answered. Who decides? That's a system. Nobody decides. Our Rinas and Rinana Bandhas, they themselves decide. Right? Did I answer your question?
Yes, Bhaiya.
So you got what I'm saying, no?
Yes, I did.
Right. Okay. Saram, thanks. Sorry, I'll abruptly end this conversation. You can stop the recording. Thank you, Saram.